I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah. Ursula's here.
I didn't tweet today because too busy, but I promise the next week I'm gonna start tweeting again.
I'm going to make a promise as well because October, I feel like, a lot of the folks from Nano are like trying to get to find
Yeah, it's
things and
gearing
like,
up nano time in
yeah.
October.
So, so we are live 22 seconds in. I'm just going to double check to make sure that, oh, is that us? Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was just checking too.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome. Well, welcome everybody. For some reason, there we are. My phone is a little extra delayed.
Yay.
We're here. So this is the end of the month, last Monday of September, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We've got 3 prompts for you.
Yep.
Ursula, thanks for hanging out. Thanks to everybody who's coming in later. And yeah, how was Jen, Ursula? I'm just going to talk to y'all. How was the week? What did you do writing wise? I know that there's a lot of stuff going on story studio wise.
Yeah.
Were you able to write, or were you just doing work business?
I did a tiny bit of writing, like a little bit of journaling, which I thought was helpful. Not as much as I wanted to, but I did do some. So that was really good. And then basically I'm still kind of on hold, but I'm hoping that next week I can, like after this week, I can start picking it up a little bit more, again. So yeah, how about you?
Yeah, right on. I did find myself like, I started writing letters to like people, not real people, just like that kind of helps me find an audience when I get stuck. So it's really helpful. And I was doing it, listening to, I go on YouTube sometimes and listen to like people's studio vlogs. I feel like being surrounded by other, like, it feels like I'm surrounded by other artists, even though I'm not. They're like in their like bedroom studios doing watercolor, and I'm like writing, and I'm like, yeah, we're in this together.
Are they talking, or are they
No,
just, like,
not often. It's very like ASMR-y. They're just like, this is what we're doing, and they'll like just show themselves. Yeah. So.
That's so cool.
Yeah, because
it's like your own. It's like a virtual retreat. You're like, writer's retreat.
Yeah, I know. Well, I feel like, Ursula's saying a little writing, but I think this is where I get stuck. Yeah, like if I am not in the.
Same.
I feel like being an extrovert person, which I know a lot of writers don't identify with. Like I need to be like surrounded by other people's energy. So sometimes I can't motivate myself. So YouTube is really helpful. Like if you find artists you like, or Patreon, people you like that aren't, because I can't do it when people are chatty, but if they like show process videos, I feel I'm like, you're doing your art, I'm doing mine, and I'll check in.
I love it.
So dumb.
I've been feeling that way. Like I've been running a lot of events, and we did like it was like a live podcast on Saturday with one of the authors who's going to be at the festival, and Dan Finnan, who does Chicago Writers Podcast.
Okay.
And it just, I was really tired. I was really drained that day. And then I sat down and did it. And we just we talked a bunch during the podcast, and we talked a bunch afterwards. And I just felt so uplifted. I felt really good. I felt, my energy levels were back up. And I'm like, it's just being around other artists and talking to other artists.
Yeah. This is like a question I think we should ask everybody, Ursula primarily right now. But like, I feel like creativity as a form of like self-care and like rejuvenation, like sometimes I fight it, like I don't want to sit down, I don't want to actually do it, but when it happens, it's like something opens, like I feel more connected, or I even feel more calm, even if it's like it's not so much when you're struggling with writing, because that's the opposite if you're like stuck. But so I feel like this space, like our writing space, is like a very like low stakes, low pressure. We have like 5, 10, 15-minute prompts. It's like very chill. You can do whatever you want. You can also just mute us. So here's another thing that I like to do is sometimes I like to sit in other people's writing, but they talk a lot, which no shame in the game. So do we. But sometimes I'm like, okay, as long as I have them, I just want to do the writing part. So if you're on here and you're like, these gals are talking, I would say just mute us and write for as long as we're on.
Yeah.
And therefore, especially if you're doing like nano, or if you have larger chunks, like you can't get, maybe if you want to do like 1,000 words in an hour or whatever, like you can't do that the way we're stopping you. Just mute us. We won't know.
You can, like, instead of when the timer beats, just keep going.
Just keep going.
You don't have to listen. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, set your own time if you need that. Anyway, because I do think like being accountable, even if you're like still like sheltering in place a little or more quarantined, it's helpful. And then you don't have to do any time limit you want. Anyway. Speaking of time limits, what do we got? What do we got here?
I agree, Ursula. Yay!
Yeah. One would rather be writing. Oh, sweet handle. That's great. Great handle.
All right, should we jump in? Should we start
Let's
with
do
the
it.
first one?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right, let me find it because there it is, right there. Okay, guys, so we're gonna do 3 writing prompts. We're gonna do a 5-minute, a 10-minute, and 15. We're gonna set a timer, and we encourage you just to write without thinking about it. Just let your mind go. Don't stop moving the pen. And we have prompts for each one, so use them however you want.
Yeah, they're always in the description box, just in case you forget.
Or you don't like the sound of my voice and you've muted me, which is fair. No judgment. No judgment. I'm working on a project right now where I have to listen to my own voice, which is better than watching my own Zoom face, which is like my least favorite.
Oh my God, I'm like, love it. Angles.
I know, right? I think everybody's really learned their angles. They're like, boom. That's the positive. Okay,
yeah, it's a positive.
Back to writing prompts. So our theme this week is disasters, and our 5-minute prompt is tornado, earthquake, or tsunami. 5 minutes. Tornado, earthquake, or tsunami.
On your mark, get set, right. Nope. Where are you at?
It was there a minute ago.
I know. Oh, guys, is it going to be one of those? Is it going to be one of those?
It's coming.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, gosh. Now, right. Okay. There we go. Back to it. All right. I was delightfully distracted myself by Alice in the
I saw something about blueberry
yeah,
combo,
yeah.
so I
I
was like,
know
I'm
Alice
in.
is
Yeah,
sadly not able to join us because she's making something delicious. So I got a little
that's
distracted, but I
amazing.
got back to it. I got back to it, and it was worth it for the distraction. How about you?
Yeah,
what did you find?
I basically just kind of went through and was like, just kind of thought about the different ones. It was sort of interesting. Like tornadoes are the ones that I probably have the most connection with.
Yeah.
I mean, you live in the Midwest, you have tornado drills. You've been, you have tornado warnings. You've been in run down to basements, that kind of stuff. There was one time where I was going to my sister's house where there was a tornado warning and the sky was purple
Mm,
and like purple. And I remember being like, yeah, this is it. Like, this is the time I'm going to see it. And, because it was just, I'd never seen anything like that before. So that one was, the one that I guess I feel like I know the best. And then earthquakes feel just like movies to me. I mean, I've never lived anywhere where that there was an actual concern that there was going to be an earthquake.
yeah.
But you see them all the time in like films, and tsunami felt like a Japanese horror movie to me. Just
Yeah.
like the name and like this monster of water, like just like crushing you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
did you take the time to like sort of describe all of them, or did you really hone in on one that you experienced for the 5 minute like brain dump?
Yeah, I just kind of described all of them like that, like little paragraphs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, how about you?
Yeah, I went into it, tornadoes as well, and then I kind of wrote the list. You know how we always do. So it's like same thing, like drills, da 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 da. And I got to a story which I know that I've told, but I don't think I've actually written down. So I would like to explore it as a story. There was a time where I got stuck doing an outdoor comedy show, driving back in a tornado that was really bad. Me and a comedian, Eric Oren, and we had to pull off into like a farmhouse. And like help us out. And we ran into a very nice couple, although at first we thought they were murdering us. I tell you before, the thing that I really want to explore is like they were so kind, and then they let us down to the basement and they opened a door and it was filled with My Little Ponies. And we're like, we're gonna die here.
Why have I never heard this story?
Oh yeah, yeah. And they were like, no.
Oh yeah, you're never coming out of that.
Yeah, and they were so nice. She used to like own a Hallmark, and so it was fine and innocent. But that second, we were like, oh,
you're like, nope. You
Yeah.
pulled into the wrong farmhouse.
Yeah. So it's again, it's like
Wow.
I think the 5 minutes for me, it like unearths stories, unearths these
Yeah.
things. So I definitely have just like a list and a spine that I can explore. And it's a short story for sure. It's nothing that can be
Great story though.
more than that. Yeah. Ursula, oh, you're doing nano prep. Nice job.
Nice.
So you got the plot template. Oh, I'm so proud. I'm somebody who can never nano, so I'm keep us up to speed.
Yeah, I want to get on the nano.
Yeah. All right, should we jump in?
Jump into number 2.
Yeah. And again, if anybody wants to if you want to do whatever you want to do, you don't have to do our dang prompts.
That's true.
Yeah.
I made them up in like 30 seconds. So again, like the voice thing. I'm not going to take it personally.
Not taking it personally.
All right. Number 2. This is going to be a 10-minute prompt. Your character works on the 25th floor of a city building. Suddenly, the fire alarm goes off. I'll do it one more time. Your character works on the 25th floor of a city building. Suddenly, the fire alarm goes off.
Oh, 10 minutes on the clock starting now. Okay. There we go. Back to it. All right, 10 minutes. A new disaster. What did you find?
I did terrible. I got really distracted, but
This,
I'm gonna admit it.
being distracted is its own disaster.
Yeah, it really was. That was an exercise in disastrous writing. I just was like if you watch the video, you can just see my head. Like,
By the end, you're just laying down.
Yeah, I was like, I'm just looking up junk. And here goes my
Oh
cat.
yeah, always making a little cameo. That cutie boots. How can you not get distracted with some cutie boots?
But I did find something really interesting. My character, I just kind of let it go because, of course, you're doing it really quickly. And so basically, she was like walking really briskly down the hallway after she pulled the lever. So it was
nice.
in the first place. She's just kind of like nonchalantly walking away, trying to look like she's she's part of the crowd. So that was kind of fun. I was like, this is definitely a place to explore when I'm not distracted.
Nice. I know. I feel like that's the sign of a true assassin, pulling an alarm and just walking away into the crowd.
Walking away.
Or somebody who just really wants a day off, Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of seemed where she was going. She was very upset because her pants were too tight and like her clothes. So I'm like, are you just trying to go home?
Sometimes when you're bloated, you just need to cause ultimate chaos.
She's like, I gotta get out. Anyway, I can get out of here.
Yeah.
What about you?
I did explore. I kind of just stayed. We talked about this before, like sort of like staying in the environment a little bit too long until like getting to the incident. So this person was like sort of an older. By older, I mean like probably like 40s, but she had like younger team of people with her, and she was trying to wrangle them out.
Oh, okay.
So it was interesting of like a generational thing of like, okay, everybody was sort of panicked and frozen, and the moments that they like came alive, it's like, take your phone out, take a picture of the emergency thing. And they were all like instantly able to do that, which is kind of neat. And then finding out that it was her kid, I think ended up.
Pulled it?
Yeah, I think so. Like, so I didn't know that, but like she's the last thing that she gets to is her office, and she sees like his backpack, and he like got in trouble doing this at school, and she's like, oh no, like this is a problem. I don't know what that means, but
I like how both of ours were false alarms.
Yeah.
Like, there was no actual fire. And that's really funny. Like both of our brains were like, it's fake.
Yeah. Well, I think there's this interesting thing of like, it could be just like an inferno and like, what do you do? But like, for me, I think the stories are always like, the internal story is always more interesting. And I think that's why I'm not I don't know if the word is good, but I'm not adept or natural at like writing action scenes because I really enjoy more the internal struggle. I would love to be able to combine them. Yeah. I'm just not quite there yet. It's just not my genre of choice. So
I wonder too if like we grew up in an era where there was a lot of like fake fire alarm. Like I feel like I've had many times in my life where somebody has falsely pulled a fire alarm. Like I've never ever been in a real fire. I've multiple times been in a place where a false fire alarm has happened.
Yeah. I've been in a real fire, and it is scary.
Have you really?
Yeah, well, I wrote that in my solo show where I walked in. My dad was drunk, and he like let the thing open, and I walked in and just opened the door. It was like, yeah, and I had to like crawl in there and try to do something. It's scary.
Nuts. Yeah, that is very scary.
Yeah, but also like I feel like that's the thing that like I think in that situation I went real internal as opposed to like I would like, you know what, this is an exercise for me. I'm gonna write this as a challenge for myself because I think sometimes I don't let tension last long in my scenes. And I also don't write a lot of action scenes. I like have it be resolved really quickly. This is not a comfort zone for me. So that's a good challenge for me is like write an action scene where it's tense and it doesn't get solved.
I think too, those places where you always hesitate is like the part where you like need to challenge you. Yeah. Like stay there.
Yeah. Which I think something like disasters is something that's a great place for me to start.
That's
okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay.
All right.
Make it breakthrough.
So we have a half hour left. Should we jump into the 15-minute,
Let's do it.
The big mama?
All right, here we go. This is a 15-minute prompt. 10 years ago, your character was in a terrible, life-changing accident. They haven't been back since. Today, they decided to take a road trip to visit the scene of their accident. Adding some words. I'll say it one more time. 10 years ago, your character was in a terrible, life-changing accident. They haven't been back to that place since. And today, they decide to take a road trip and visit the scene.
Okay, 15 minutes. And the clock's starting now. And your mark, you said right. Okay. I'm just gonna finish this real fast if you don't mind.
Yeah, do it.
So I don't know why it's always the 15 minutes. I feel like I can't quite squeeze it in exactly.
That's great.
How did it go for you? Were you less distracted?
I got distracted in the middle, but I came back.
I love the honesty.
I ended up actually, yeah, right. I actually just kept going with the 10-minute one because I was sort of intrigued by it and I had not, written enough. So
nice.
I was like,
you built off it. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. I really just kind of focused on the group having to go down those 25 flights of stairs, which I mean, it just must take forever. And, not knowing, obviously there is no fire, so they don't smell anything. They don't see anything, so they're just, and at first they're like kind of rushing, but then after a couple flights, they're starting to go slower and they're just kind of like trudging down the stairs. This one woman sort of knowing what she did, and
the monotony of the like, we're very scared. Oh,
right, and just be like, bonk, bonk. I mean, that's really a long way to go down.
That's true. Of like, adrenaline or not, you still got to go down those stairs.
I know, like that's the only way out. And also, in office buildings, I mean, it's completely enclosed. So you can't see anything. There's a window, so they have no idea what's going on. Yeah. So, how about you?
Good. Yeah, I found something. I don't know quite what it is. It could potentially be more Stephen King than I imagined it to be.
Nice.
But I just threw people in a reunion, like a hotel, and the thing was, I just had somebody. No one at her reunion seemed to remember how Joyce Tableau, I don't know if that's her name, lost 3 fingers on her left hand. That's like the first line. And then I made some dialogue of like this wife of somebody being like, how do you guys know it's not a small town? And, like trying to figure out who's in this circle talking. And so getting some characters come out. And it turns out everybody in the circle knows how Joyce lost her 3 hands.
Sure they did.
Yeah. But then it got weird where it's like, at the end, like it's like, okay, these people know each other and it's trying to like reveal how they know each other. And then when I was getting closer to the end, it was like Joyce called them all back for a reason. Like she's, they're like, what is gonna happen?
She wants those fingers back.
Yeah, and it's like I'm not quite sure if she's in the group, if it's like they're fighting something together and she's just the one that got scarred, or if she's against them. It's very unclear right now. But it was interesting. I like writing. This is one of the things I like about these writing prompts is like you give yourself a game and things just open up, so I don't know.
You just kind of follow the interesting path.
Yeah. And I liked like figuring out who all these people were. It's like, and this is not an original thought or whatever, but like talking about people who write, like Margaret Atwood always said, it's like a fog, right? Mm-hmm. Like you're just lifting from the fog and suddenly you're able to see them. So I don't have a picture, and then suddenly I'm like, oh, I can see this guy. I can see how he treats his wife. I can, you're like, oh, okay. I can start seeing the circle, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
But I have to give a shout out to Eunice, who I know that she was, I think she watches these later and she hasn't been on here for a while, but she's someone who's like really pushes me to like do something with this work. Yeah. She's like, hey, you never share anything. And hey, what are they doing? And hey, are you actually writing something? So I see you and I hear you, Eunice.
We're working on it. We got winter plans going.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I need to get my work out more again. I can't like stop and start with it. So yeah, and I think for me, I know a lot of people, obviously, Ursula was talking about NaNoWriMo, and I think instead of my goal for the winter, I don't know if it's so much as like getting that massive word count, but really taking a stock on what we've created during these writing workshops and or writings, whatever they're called, and doing something with them. So thank you, Eunice. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff, everybody. I hope everybody got some words down and, got inspired a little bit and had fun. I feel like I did really well, even with through the distraction. Sometimes you're just like, even being distracted, you still got stuff done. So it's okay.
I think that's 100% true because you know what? You've written more words on the page, even distracted, than you would if you didn't sit down. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Now, Jen, you are doing the Story Studio work festival this whole week. So
starts Thursday.
So good luck to you, and
Thanks.
everybody knows where you can find it if anybody wants to jump in. And then you and I are going to be doing a bonus write-in for the workshop, for the festival. I keep calling it workshop on Sunday. Otherwise, we'll be back here on Monday.
So we'll do it Sunday and Monday. Yay!
Yeah,
that'll be fun. So on Monday, I will be, either really relieved or really depressed or just really happy. Who knows?
A combination of all of them, right?
Probably just the same.
Probably just the same. Yeah. Well, Alley Cat did show up at the end. I want to give her a shout out. Alley Cat is pushing through some homework assignments. We're struggling to focus too, so don't feel alone. I hear you. And you're welcome.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for showing up. Thanks for writing. We'll be back next Monday. Keep that handle awesome. And Jen usually leaves with some words of wisdom, but are you too sleepy to do it? Or are you just like, go to bed?
If you're gonna pull a fire alarm, like...
I think maybe this is going in the wrong direction. We are not encouraging illegal activities.
No, that's not what I meant. You just fill that in yourself.
Okay.
If I was gonna pull the fire alarm. ...
You
think about it. Everybody think about it tonight.
I feel like we've all just been given a timeout by Jen for an activity we didn't do yet.
It's a timeout for me. I've never pulled a fire alarm.
All right. Awesome. Well, we'll get the new links up. So the new links aren't up yet, but we'll be back. Jen, we're doing the same time, same place. Mondays at 7. That's our time now, I think.
Let's do it. Good solid October. Oh, we're gonna do spooky stuff. We have to do spooky themes every week. Yay.
Okay. All right.